Okay. Hello, dear friends. Good afternoon. Such a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. So, Sunday, I have some time and I found this museum open. I have been passing through here many times and always do not get the chance to see it open. So, today I am here. Saratoga, California, Saratoga History Museum. Let's take a look inside. Okay, so here I am inside the museum, and I got a very well detailed explanation from the docent here. So let me first to go through a little bit of this place. So Saratoga used to be lived by the local Ohlone people, Ohlone tribe. So these are some of the stone tools, some of the toys of the very early stage native people. And in the, I think in 1842-46, the pioneers start to come to this place, and the city used to because of the tree, there was a huge logging industry, as you can see. This very sharp sword, and the logging industry, the Pacific coast in Woodside, Palo Alto, and Oregon, Washington, the Pacific edge with a lot of coastal red trees. So it was used very much for the logging. And the city used to be called several different names until finally they settled with the name Saratoga. When we talk about Saratoga, you may think about the Saratoga Spring in the East Coast, New York or New Jersey. And every time when I search for Saratoga, it always goes to that place. It's a much more famous place comparing with the Saratoga in California. And the Saratoga found water, mineral water, and those mineral water was very much with the same quality, same chemical composition of Saratoga Spring. So that's the reason this place, they renamed the city. Used to be some field, some McCarthy, I forgot, I do not know exactly the name, but they settled with the name Saratoga. And with the beautiful scenery, bright sunshine, this place was particularly good for fruit orchard. And with fruit orchard comes the wine, right? So this area used to be called the Valley of Heart Delight because of the apricot, because of the plum, and also this is the reason I have my apricot jam, I have my lemon curd, I have my plum jam, because they are just so good, because of the sunshine, because of the soil. And then they developed the orchard, the Blossom Festival, and made wine. And Paul Mason, this winery is now, I think, bought by Mountain Winery. And Mountain Winery right now runs a very good business. They do wine tasting, they do cultural event, they do concert. There was a very beautiful concert, outdoor concert venue, like Greek theater. Like it's just, I have been there once, and you feel very, very paradisic feeling. So here are the wines and the fruits, and so people start to come here, and then they build one of the most beautiful and luxury hotel that is called Pacific Corners Spring. Pacific Corner Spring. It's near the Saratoga Spring, and the docent told me if I go highway number 9, I can still see this. This beautiful hotel is completely burned in fire, but maybe I can still see the stairs. I actually want to go there to see it. Yeah. So with the spring, with the good water, people from different places come here, and also Villa Montalvo was built, the Japanese Hakuni Garden, and along this way there are also another one. What's the name? The Filoli Garden. So a lot of affluent, well-to-do people come here to enjoy life. So this is the hotel that built for accommodating the travelers. Here are some of the people's life here. How interesting. Yeah. So this part is about the local people's life, the stagecoach, the Blossom Festival. It is this gentleman, Reverend Williams, started the Blossom Festival. And the Blossom Festival is the city has, Saratoga City has recovered this Blossom Festival. It's a very small scale festival now. Local artists, local dignitaries. How interesting. And this part, oh, this must be the old telephone. So some art exhibition. Saratoga is always it's like a sleep town bedroom community. It's a very controlled development so far, not too much housing, and with relatively how do I say it? Not too aggressive in the sense of building new development. There is a rural rural charm in it. Small boutique shops, restaurants. Of course, there are shopping malls in a little bit outskirt place, a little bit outside of the city hall area or the center area. And let me see, there is a Julia Morgan house. Let me find it. And there was Julia Morgan house. There was a foothill club, mostly, yes, this one. The foothill club was for in 1907, some of the prominent women in Saratoga got together and decided to form a study club. So now it's still functioning, the Foothill Club. And it's to empower women, educate, and improve the life of well-being and the life of the women. And Julia Morgan built that clubhouse. I think a few months ago I visited this area and I saw that house. It's really a very, very Julia Morgan style, elegant, simple, clean design. Okay. And I have met this wonderful docent, and now we will let you to do the introduction. Could you let us know your name and a little bit background, even your family, your connection with the city?
Thank you. My name is Elizabeth Brawley McLaughlin, and I'm a docent here at the museum. I have an interest and connection to Saratoga. My great-great-grandfather settled here as a kind of a retirement home in 1888. He bought a place on Fruitvale Avenue, a fruit farm. He was a chief engineer on a shipping line, and he had moved here from Ireland and Scotland to be part of the O&O shipping line, to be one of the officers on some of the early boats. The Oceanic was the first one he was on. And they would take the boats from San Francisco to Yokohama, Hong Kong, and then back. So he spent weekends here with his friends from the city. And in some of those parties he met his wife, who lived in San Jose. The Hart's dry goods store was her family. And they settled in Saratoga. He was still at sea. He would come home weekends and such. And so my grandfather was born here. Actually, he was born in the city because it was considered more civilized than here. And then I grew up on the farm, essentially, weekends, hanging out with my grandfather. It was a family farm, if you will, on Fruitvale Avenue.
Yeah. Some of these industries your family has participated?
So we had... originally, it was about 45 acres of apricots primarily, but also oranges and prunes. The apricots and prunes were the predominant fruit here. So there's pictures over here of apricot drying. I remember as a kid, I had to help cut cots. Even my grandfather maintained the apricot trees, and we cut cots. So essentially what you do is when the apricots are really ripe, you kind of split them with a knife.
Yeah.
You put them on these drying trays, and they light sulfur fires under them for the preservative, and then they just lay them out in the sun until they dry, and they collect them, and that's dried apricots.
And the apricot stone off, right? It's the skin and the core is separated.
It's separated, and they're very, very sweet. If you've had a real dried apricot that's made from a very sweet apricot, it's almost like candy.
Yeah.
It's very, very delicious.
Wow.
And so they did that, and he was, I think he was the president. My great grandfather was the president of the first, one of the first fruit farmer cooperatives in the town, working closely with Vince Garrett, who also had a big fruit ranch up in the Saratoga Hills.
Wow.
So that's a little bit about my connection.
Yeah. So here are the wines.
Mm-hmm.
And, are they the same winery or?
So there's a number of different wineries that were started here. The Parmesan was one of the famous ones, and they built a very large winery up in the hills. They also had a champagne cellars that was essentially Saratoga Avenue and where 87 goes through. And in the mid to later 1970s, 1980s, they used to run concerts and operas and such up at the Parmesan.
Oh.
And ultimately they sold out, and now it's Mountain Winery.
Yeah.
And so Mountain Winery does have a winery, and they do a lot of concerts up there. So they've kind of taken that tradition and continued.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's interesting is I was mentioning earlier about my great-grandfather's relationship with the Garretts, and being part of that first fruit association and cooperative. So they've now, in the 70s, they started growing grapes, and it is now the Cooper Garrett winery, which is actually really good.
Still here?
Still here, and still the same family.
Wow.
That settled in the late 1800s up in the mountains. Yeah.
And the winery is
It's right off Highway 9 up in the mountains there.
interesting.
Yeah.
They do wine tasting?
They have wine tasting, yes.
We need
And they also do horseback riding. So you can go up there and
Wow.
have a whole day of horseback riding and picnic and wine tasting.
Did you ride horse?
I did ride horses
You
as a kid,
did?
yes. We had a horse at the ranch. Yeah, my cousin had a horse. It was fun.
Wonderful. So this part are about?
And so here, there's some other stories and such. Here they talk a little bit about the gold rush and some of the stuff associated with that. What's more fun over here is this is the Foothill Club.
Oh,
I don't know if you had spoken about the Foothill Club, but there was a women's club that was started in they started getting together kind of in the late 1800s, but it was really built in the early 1900s.
Really?
Mrs. Blaney was one of the original members, and she was a suffragette that was really working towards getting women the right to vote.
Yeah.
But they were very dedicated to education, and so the women would get together for teas, and one of them would do research and speak on a topic. And so it was more of an educational society for women in a time that wasn't something you would see frequently. My great-grandmother was part of the Foothill Club as well.
It's still active?
And the Foothill Club is still active to today, yes. And it's still in the same building here that was built by Julia Morgan.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It was, yes.
Yes. How interesting. And this part is I saw this gentleman.
So this gentleman right here is Reverend Sunshine Williams, and he had a beautiful old home. He's also was the founder of the Blossom Festival.
Oh.
And so this, in honor of this, the whole valley, which was Valley of Heart's Delight back then, and it was covered in the spring with tons of fruit trees, and each of them had blossoms, and they're quite beautiful. And so he started the Blossom Festival as a way of having a celebration and bringing people together.
Have you been there in the old time?
I did not go in the old times. My grandfather was actually, they used to have, it was quite elaborate. They had floats and parades, and so my great-grandmother was involved in organizing it and fundraising and such, and my grandfather was involved. He was also there when he was a kid and when he grew up a little bit. They've restarted the Blossom Festival recently, and it is now takes place in the summer over by City Hall.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Keep it traditional. There is Autumn Wine Festival, but Blossom sounds so beautiful.
It is beautiful, yes.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
And just over here, there's some interesting things. These are portraits done by the daughter of John and Sarah Brown, and they were famous abolitionists in the East Coast, and they came here to kind of get away from everything that happened and kind of settle down peacefully. And so she, with her 2 daughters, bought a fruit ranch up in the mountains there.
And Saratoga usually always so peaceful?
No. It actually started as they did a lot of logging up in the hills for wood to build out the different towns as it was starting to build after the gold rush, or in the gold rush. And early times they had manufacturing here. So it was a couple of paper mills. And paper mills. And one of them actually started building or making cardboard. They called it pasteboard, I believe, back then. And because it was a lot of workers, they had a lot of bars, and it was a very rambunctious town. Yeah. And ultimately, then it kind of swapped to be dry with the women who were more religious and more education-oriented. But yeah, so it's had quite a history.
Did the Foothill Club play a role in making it dry?
I don't know specifically, but I do know that a lot of the women who were involved in the late 1800s, early 1900s, did lobby for that. I'd say that they made their establishment a dry establishment to raise funds to pay off the loan that they had. They did lease out the room or the facility to, it was one of the men's clubs. I can't remember if it was a firemen's club or someone. And they did allow them to drink at their meetings, but only one, and only at dinner.
Okay.
With food.
So slowly.
Slowly, yeah.
And Saratoga is now famous for its wine industry.
Now there's quite a few wineries and tasting rooms on highway, on Big Basin Way. Yeah. It is, yes.
It's beautiful scene. It's just.
It is beautiful, yes.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Now here, there is a blacksmith's house. And this house is actually the family of the blacksmith, and he lived there. He lived on this side, and this is his workshop. And this is a schoolhouse. Let's take a look inside. And the map is still Gulf of Mexico and schoolhouse. And this is their family house, kitchen. It's quite interesting to see old life, historical places like this. So this is the Foothill Club. And I have passed by here a few times and just found it very Julia Morgan style. I love her architectural style. It's classy, and it's functional, simple, and elegant. Look at it. Look at it. A small garden in the front. Today is a little bit wet, and it feels so romantic, so poetic. Is this Julia Morgan? This is Julia Morgan. she studied architectural design in Paris, École des Beaux-Arts Supérieurs. I cannot control the reflection. So cool. Okay. Bye bye, friends. I love you. I really do. Do. Cuckoo, bye bye.